It's the Fellowship of the Geek Show, a weekly podcast about comics, the comic book industry, and other geek pop culture. Music courtesy of Mandy the Martyr. And now, on with the show! Hey everybody, it's the Fellowship of the Geeks podcast. My name is Thomas Chick, and joining me for this week's episode is Mike Marlowe.
Hey gang.
And Les Webster.
Hello all.
How are you guys doing?
Tired but good.
Same here.
Done in but good.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say what's been going on in my corner real quick, because we need to save some time for Les. Honestly, a lot of work stuff going on this past week, a lot of personal stuff going on, so I didn't have a heck of a lot of fun. So how about you, Mikey?
This week is your week for the big bag of nothing. That's cool. That's all right. Like I said, well, and yeah, it's not cool that you had a crappy week, but you know.
It happens.
It happens, and you kind of deal with it. It's part of that whole adulting thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mine has actually, I'm actually not entirely sure. I haven't mentioned this a little bit before, but I'm going to do it again anyway. Over the last few weeks, I have been slowly and carefully doing something to my child. I have been grooming him. I have been messing with his mind. I have introduced him to Weird Al.
Woohoo!
And he has actually latched onto it. He is getting a big kick out of the different versions of the songs that he's listening to on the radio. And this would not have worked 6 months ago because he didn't really start listening to the radio, listening to music intentionally until very recently. So I slipped this in. I saw him starting to get into music, and I started listening, just letting him listen in my car to his radio station. And so I started hearing some of the songs. I'm like, all right, I'm going to try this. And I slipped in a Weird Al song on him, and he got a kick out of it, and so I started showing him more.
So he's going to be white and nerdy. Woo-hoo.
He's going to be white and nerdy.
Congratulations. I think that's great.
I think he was pretty doomed to the white and nerdy thing simply by the virtue of being my child anyway, but, you know.
Right.
I've got him started on the right path.
Awesome.
Good job.
So tell us a story, Les.
Yeah, what's been going on with you, Les?
This past weekend, I attended C2E2 up in Chicago.
Woo!
Thoroughly enjoyed it. Spent, I would say, 3/4 of my time speeding around the floor and getting autographs of writers and artists. I think I had a total of about 40 comics to get signed. The fun part was I got to meet the artists and writers, and that was great. They were all so kind. I got to see some people that I've talked to before. I got to talk to some people that we've had on podcasts before.
Woo!
And they actually remembered being on our podcast, which I thought was a big feather right there.
Very nice.
Clearly we made an impact one way or another.
One way or another. He didn't run away. So
we'll see what happens when we try to hit him up for another interview.
Yeah.
That would be the big test.
Yeah, that's kind of the telling part, right?
At this show in the Artist Alley, they had the stars of the comic world intermingled with local artists, or as in our case, out-of-state artists. And that, I thought, was a good idea, rather than just cordoning off the knowns and the rest of the Artist Alley never get even seen by the patrons. I think that C2E2 did it right. Let's put them out there with the others. On our row, we had Todd Knock of DC and Titans fame. And also we had Joelle Jones of Lady Killer.
Ooh.
So I thought we did real well. Unfortunately, there were a couple that were scheduled but did not make it. Yet I got to talk to everyone from Terry Moore to Jeff Darrow to Stuart Sager to Brian Azzarello. Got to talk with Brian Clevenger and his compatriot on Atomic Robo.
Scott Wagner.
Scott Wagner, thank you. So it was really fun. Had a good time. Now I'm suffering with the con crud, and it's kind of difficult to breathe. I've been sneezing and nose has been dripping all day, but I'm going to fight through it and get our podcast done. But I had a good time.
Sounds like it. And you got some nice stuff from what you showed me earlier. Some beautiful
Thanks,
artwork.
Yeah, I'm very pleased with what I was able to get.
Very cool.
All right. I hope everybody out there is doing well. I hope they had a good week. Before we get into this week's topic, take a couple of minutes to thank our sponsors. First off, I want to thank Make Mine Indie, the digital independent catalog. The spring catalog is out now. It's been out for a little over a month. It's 114 pages of previews, interviews, reviews, and so forth of different print, digital, and web comics that are not really available through other distributors. It's usually just through them or through that particular publisher's website. If you go to our website, www.thefellowshipofthegeeks.net, and click on our sponsors tab, right there will be a link that will take you to get a free copy, whether it's a PDF or CBZ file. It is absolutely free to download and check it out. A lot of good stuff there. Some really cool stories that just don't get the attention that it deserves. So we thank Make Mine Indie and Peter Smeddy of Alterna Comics for sponsoring us. And we also want to thank Things from Another World for being a sponsor of the Fellowship. Some good deals going on right now. Well, actually, a lot of the deals will be gone by the time this hits. But you could still check it out, because if you check it,
the joys of recording 5 days before we drop.
Right. So if you happen to download this on April 30th, you still have a chance of getting free domestic shipping on in-stock comics, books, and graphic novel orders of $35 and up. And there's several books and graphic novels that are actually available at 8% off. All of these are good through April 30th. But in addition to those, there are the evergreen deals, such as 40% off comics, statues, toys, and merchandise, 30% off pre-order manga titles, and 50% off Nick and Dent comics and graphic novels. So while you're on our sponsors page, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see information for Things from Another World and a couple images there. If you just click on those images, that'll take you to their website and let them know that we sent you their way, and take advantage of those deals. And we thank all of them for being supporters of the Fellowship of the Geeks.
Mm-hmm. For allowing us to do all this madness that we do.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, for this week's topic, it is that time again. It's starting to warm up. So what do you want to do? Let's go find a place where it's cool and let's have some fun. Let's go to the movies. This week's obviously we're going to be talking about the summer movie titles and some of the particular ones that have caught our attention. So for this, I'm just going to open it up and let you guys just say, hey, which ones catch your attention, and we'll just start with May, since May has now become the start of the summer movie season. So,
we don't have to wait for Memorial Day? I always
Memorial Day, yeah.
Yep, because basically first weekend in May,
Yep.
stuff
Free
starts.
Comic Day.
Right,
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep, not only Free Comic Book Day this year, but what is essentially the kickoff of the summer movie season is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Mm-hmm. Nerds in Paradise.
Mm-hmm. Intergalactic Boogaloo.
Mm-hmm. This looks like it'd be a lot of fun. I definitely enjoyed the first one a lot. And it seems it's going to have a lot of the same vibe. So, which makes sense.
Pretty much.
So, yeah, I'm excited about this one. This should be a blast. And of course it'll do well.
I'm sure it will.
I'm curious to see how Kurt Russell is playing the human version of Ego. And for those who are not sure who Ego is actually a planet in the Marvel Universe.
Ego, the living planet.
Ego, the living planet. And somehow he's able to become human. So that will be interesting to see. I'm glad to see Kurt Russell in these type of movies. This ought to be fun. And we actually have Sylvester Stallone in this one as well. Although James Gunn has come out and said we would not have a Tango and Cash reunion. So I'm kind of disappointed in that, but oh well.
Oh gosh. Yep. No buddy cops for Guardians of the Galaxy. That just doesn't fit.
Another one in May kind of caught my attention is, and we'll just see how this goes, is King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. I have not heard much about this one, but you've got Charlie Hunnam, Idris Elba, and Jude Law, just to begin with, and it's directed by Guy Ritchie.
Right, Guy Ritchie takes on King Arthur. That's bound to be interesting. I don't know whether to expect Excalibur or A Knight's Tale. Could go either way.
Yeah.
Could be a skillful mix of the two. Who knows?
They keep billing it from Guy Ritchie, the man who gave you Sherlock Holmes. And I'm sorry. I've seen the previews to King Arthur on television. I am just not impressed. This is like a Cecil B. DeMille film with CGI. All of the people that you see in the big scenes are CGI. You see the castles look nothing like what you have seen in films before. They even outdo those that, such as Hogwarts in the Potter movies.
Wow.
I'm sorry, guys. I didn't like Sherlock Holmes. I thought it was just, let's butcher an idea and pass it off as Holmes. This one, I think, is going to follow suit. This one reminds me of the Wild Wild West. And how freaking
shots fired, people. Shots fired.
Wow.
I'm sorry, but I want something more like Excalibur, where you have it based on something.
I would be really pissed if I was watching this film and all of a sudden the giant metal spider shows up.
Seriously.
They do have monsters appear though. They do have monsters appear, and I'm going, why? These supposedly did not exist. Yet we've got to toss them in there to make it an action-packed film. Because it's the story of Arthur, who has been stripped of his lineage, his right to the throne. And he's got to fight his way back, and he pulls the sword from the stone, which I thought was probably one of the closest to Arthurian legends stories that's going to be in this movie. I'm sorry, it's not one that I really want to line up for.
Yeah, I got to admit, just because it's Guy Ritchie. Guy Ritchie has a name in Hollywood, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of agree with you on the Sherlock Holmes thing, so I don't know that I would be using that as my selling point either. Arthur stories have just been going in strange directions the last several years. I don't know.
Well, I'll say this. I'm just not saying how I feel about it. But yeah, I mean, y'all say y'all hear the guy that brought you Sherlock Holmes, and that kind of turns your stomach. Those movies have done well, so that's going to be a selling point for people who have gone to see those movies and enjoyed them.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily a selling point for people who are fans of the mythology.
Oh no, I agree.
I think that's where Les and I are coming from. Is
and
we're more King
totally
Arthur fans than we are Guy Ritchie fans. And
I understand. Yeah. I understand. I'm just saying. I understand what y'all are saying, but I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, they made money, no doubt about it. Both of them. I mean, even the really bad second one made money.
And this will because it's a Guy Ritchie, it's a summer film, it's a Guy Ritchie film that'll bring people into the theaters, and and then you got Jude Law and a couple other names that will bring people in. So
oh yeah, I'm sure it'll be flashy and it'll be exciting to watch. I don't doubt that for a minute.
I mean, yeah, fans of the legend will probably be vomiting left and right if you're watching it. But I'm just trying to be honest here.
No, right. There's a certain economic reality involved here, and there's no doubt about it. That movie will not hurt because Les and I don't go see it.
Right. Well, and there's like I said, saying some fans of the legend probably would not be interested because they know that's not right.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of the same argument I've had with people regarding the whole issue of Galactus' appearance in the second Fantastic Four movie. Is that, and we've kind of talked about this before, about the fact that, the diehard fan said it should not have been Cloud. And my response is, well, I understand what you're saying because as a fan, that's not accurate. But would you really want a humongous humanoid in blue and purple armor standing in New York City trying to get ready to eat the planet? Joe Pew public to come into the theater to watch the film, all of a sudden they're taken out and they're laughing their ass off. Now it's accurate because it's accurate to the comic, but
it's accurate to a comic book from the 1960s. So yeah, I mean it's not necessarily going to translate well to film,
right? Especially
in 2005 or whenever the hell that came out.
Right. It was something that was changed for several reasons, just like what we're about to get in a few weeks with this Arthur film. Things were changed for certain reasons. So, I think we've talked enough about this one.
Yeah, who knew we were going to beat on that poor movie? God. Yeah. So the next week, Alien Covenant comes out.
Woohoo! Your thoughts?
I'm hesitant on this one. I mean, I would like for it to be good, but it's really kind of been a long time since we've had a good Alien movie. So
he's trying to rectify himself after Prometheus.
right, he's trying to make Prometheus make sense, which
Yeah, and
whatever.
I'm leery of this one too, Mike.
Yeah, I'd love to see a good Alien movie. I really would, but I don't know. I don't know if that's possible anymore. I think it may be one of those things that it might be best to just leave it alone. Let's just appreciate the one we have, or two.
I understand what you're saying. From what I've seen of the trailers and stuff, it does look interesting. It looks like they are going back to the haunted house type of a vibe that I've described the very first one to be like, which is a smart thing to do if you can, because at this point we all know what aliens can do. So you got to do something else to reignite the fear and the
Right.
scare.
The deal with the first movie, and again, we probably don't need to go too far off on rabbit trails for each of these, but the deal with the first movie was the reveal.
Right.
You hold off the reveal as long as you can get away with, or you just show just enough to make it scary. But see, I mean, it's been 30 years. We all know what the damn things look like now, so there's no reveal.
Right.
I mean, all you can do is, I would love to see them do something original with it in terms of the scares, but I mean, it's really just going to be a series of jump scares.
Well,
It's my fear.
And setting up the tension for the jump scares, and they can do that.
Right.
But you could say that for a lot of horror franchises.
Sure.
I mean, you know,
Pretty much
once
any horror franchise.
in any horror franchises, you know, after you've seen the first one, you already know what the monster looks like. You already pretty much know what the monster can do. It's just, you know,
How are you going to make it interesting?
How are they going to make it interesting? Yeah. So I understand what you're coming from. I'm not saying I'm really excited about it, but I am definitely curious. I don't know if it's something that I will go to see in the theaters, but I will see it at some point.
Oh, sure. I mean, and y'all know how I am with theaters anyway, so I'm not going to see any of these in the theater. I will watch Alien Covenant at some point, almost certainly, just to see.
Okay.
Les, I know you're dying to bring up Baywatch.
There you go.
I was going to rant on another one before that.
Oh, all right.
Pirates of the Caribbean. Again.
Oh, at some point they're just going to be honest and use the subtitle ad nauseum.
Yes. Yeah. This is what Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Yeah, this is, I believe, number 5.
And I'm sorry, this is about 2 movies too many. The first 3 was an arc, and it told a story. Let it die. Let it lie. Whatever you want to do. I'm done with it. I have no desire to see this. I would rather see Baywatch than this.
That can be arranged, sir.
Yep. I'm sure we can work something out there.
Yeah, I didn't even see the 4th one, so I'm with you.
I think I made it through 2, maybe.
3 was actually better than 2, but only marginally so. 2 was pretty bad, I thought.
2 was almost a lead-in for 3.
Yeah.
I wasn't really interested in seeing 1, so, you know.
Well, the first one I thought was really entertaining for what it was. I thought it did some things really well. I thought it kind of almost made fun of itself a little bit.
Yes.
And I mean, it wasn't a real deep story, but it didn't really need to be. I think deep. God, there I go with the puns again. Jesus.
Well, I mean, it's a movie based off an amusement park ride. I don't know how much you can really make it in depth.
Yeah, deep is not really what you're going to get out of it. An amusement park ride at Disney, for crying out loud. So yeah, how rough can it be? But I mean, it's fun. It's a fun movie. The first one is fun. It progressively got less fun after that, but I think again that was the just redoing the same thing over and over again thing. But
Uh-huh. It got made because Johnny Depp was so well received, and they said, "Hey,
Yeah, it made a
we
ton
got
of
to do
money.
more." Yeah. Well, and that was part of the reason.
Hmm.
You can't tell me he wasn't, because I mean he had a lot of funny lines. So yeah. All right.
Yep.
So Les, do you want to talk about Baywatch?
Not really. I,
Well, if you
I've
don't,
seen so many things on television about this, recordings from the filming site and all that. I'm going, I don't care. I'm done.
at least
I
they're
didn't
supposed to.
care for the show when it was on, so.
At least they're supposed to be taking it in more of a comedic direction with the movie. But not that, I mean, the people who care will care, and the people who don't won't, and whatever.
Right.
It's one of those movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, why do it? Why do it as a comedy? We've already seen this in television shows with Starsky and Hutch, The Green Hornet, 21 Jump Street.
Because Baywatch was the show. The show was basically
Slow motion bikinis.
right.
I mean, how that show took itself seriously as long as it did, I can't imagine. I do not understand how that worked in the first place. So, but anyway,
Alrighty. So we on to June then.
we are on to June and the movie that we've
Be-
all been waiting for.
Before we do,
Oh,
Drone. Did you guys see
Drone?
the write-up on this?
No.
It's a thriller, and it concerns drones, of course, and the use for military. It says in IMDB, ideologies collide with fatal results when a military drone contractor meets an enigmatic Pakistani businessman. And in this, the businessman threatens the contractor because I believe the drones killed members of the Pakistani's family. I know it's not comic book related or something like that, but this one I thought would be pretty interesting to take in. And this comes out the same weekend as Pirates. So I think I've got my choice for that weekend.
Yeah, it's definitely a slightly deeper idea.
Mm-hmm.
Could be interesting.
Alrighty. On to June. And what were you saying, Mikey?
The one movie we've all been waiting for this summer. We've been waiting for years for this summer for this movie. Captain Underpants.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, I had to go for the cheap joke, but yeah, no, that's obviously the week Wonder Woman comes out.
Why would they put Captain Underpants the same weekend as Wonder Woman?
Different audience.
I understand.
Totally
I
different
understand.
audience. Why
Yeah.
would they ever release any two movies at the same time? I mean, it's probably
Well,
two different studios, and they're going to try to compete a little bit. And with Captain Underpants, not only are you going to be pulling on the pocketbook, you're also going to be pulling on the little kids trying to drag their parents into there.
Well, yeah, I get that. Yeah. But, I'm looking at the following week, and I would think that would be a better one than... That would have been my choice. But, hey, no one talked to me, so...
And I think that's why The Mummy is the following week, because
Yeah.
it would be in direct competition with Wonder Woman, which I think is going to win the slot.
Almost certainly.
Well, to me, having Captain Underpants the week that The Mummy comes out, I think would actually be better for both of them. But
the kids who are going to watch Captain Underpants are young enough that you can't just ditch them in the one theater and then go to the other one and watch The Mummy.
well, what I'm saying is there's going to be kids who want to see Wonder Woman, and then they're not as likely going to want to go see The Mummy. But hey,
True
like
enough.
I said,
True
no one
enough.
asked me.
True enough.
That's kind of what I was getting at. Is the kids are going to want to? I would think there's going to be some kids who want to see both of them. They're coming out the same weekend, so one of them will if they're lucky, they'll be able to see both of them. If not, they're going to have to wait. Where if Captain Underpants was a week later, it would be easier because kids are more than not likely to want to see the Mummy.
Probably not.
Because they don't want to see Tom Cruise.
Exactly. We can only hope. Tom Cruise is the scariest thing in that movie. But anyway.
I think that's already been established.
Yes, we are hoping. We have high hopes for Wonder Woman. I think we had already discussed that in the last week's episode.
I think we pretty much pinned that one down last week. So, yup.
All right, and we've already kind of broached it. So, The Mummy, the following week. Universal is trying to reboot their monster line, and I believe this is what they're considering the first of it, according to the notes I'm seeing here, as an action-adventure tentpole with horror elements.
The previews I've seen on television cover most of that right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be the Brendan Fraser type. Let's pop a joke every 10 minutes. This looks like it's going to be pretty serious. And the creature, what they've shown on the television, is pretty eerie. It's mainly a spectral form. So I think this could win some people in.
Yeah.
To me, it would give Wonder Woman a tight race when it opens, when The Mummy opens.
I've not really paid attention to the trailer, so I'm going to have to go back and look. You mentioned the Brendan Fraser version, and I love that one. It's more of an Indiana Jones, and that's fine, with a little horror in it. Obviously, they're pushing more of the horror and the action, and probably less on humor, and that's fine as well. I mean, we'll see. But, this is going to be the formula that they're going to be using for their remakes of Dracula and Frankenstein and some of the others that they're going to be doing. So, yeah. I assuming this does well.
Right.
But again, it may bomb and they may rethink it and maybe go back to more of a pure horror, which, I wouldn't mind that either.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what direction they have taken it for sure.
Yeah.
To see where they're planning on going with the rest.
Alrighty. Anything else that week catches your attention?
No, not really.
No,
Okay.
not me.
The following week is Cars 3.
Yep, sure is.
Uh-huh. Alright. The following week, Transformers, The Last Night. Although, the one that really kind of got my attention, because I didn't know they were doing this, is a new version of The Beguiled.
I saw that somewhere. Where did I see that? Yeah, they're doing a remake of The Beguiled.
And it's directed by Sofia Coppola. And she also did the screenwriting.
Yeah, and it's got like Colin Farrell and Nicole Kidman in it.
Yeah, and Kristen Dunst and Elle Fanning. So I mean, it's got some names in here.
It's serious. Be interesting. I haven't seen that movie in a while.
Yeah.
As a Clint Eastwood flick for people who don't know.
Right.
It's set in the Civil War.
Right. Anything comes out to you, Les? Anything catches your attention? I know the following week would.
Yes, the following week does.
Yeah, the one more I will throw out is I didn't even realize what this was, but there's the third of the animated Resident Evil movies comes out in June.
Oh yeah, the Vendetta.
Yeah, if you're into that sort of thing.
And I'm sure the one that's caught Les's eye is Amityville: The Awakening.
Spot on, bub.
Is this like a remake or what?
Revival of a popular franchise with a modern twist. Didn't we just do this like within the last 10 years and it starred Ryan Reynolds?
I don't know.
Wasn't there a remake of Amityville Horror with Ryan Reynolds? Yeah, I think it was.
Okay.
Let me do a little quick research. 2005.
There you go. That was pretty quick. Shit.
Yeah. Well, it's great that it's the first thing that pops up. Ryan Reynolds and Chloe Grace Moretz.
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah, what he said. Yeah, 2005.
Hit girl.
Yeah, Hit Girl.
Hit Girl.
She's grown up.
Mm-hmm. All right, Les. Go ahead and talk about the movie you're really interested in.
To me, this is going to be the animated movie of the summer, and that's Despicable Me 3. I'm waiting for this because the Minions movie was a good filler. And then to go back to Gru and his life, I believe in this one, you will meet Gru's brother, who looks totally different. It's his twin brother, Drew, D-R-U. And, of course, both are voiced by Steve Carell. And Drew has flowing, long, blonde hair. He dresses in white. He's got a very upbeat attitude in opposition to Gru. And, of course, you have the Minions, which always crack me up. I'm ready to see this one again. You're also going to have several people that appeared in Gru, the first movie. Miranda Cosgrove, Russell Brand. I think the all three girls are going to be back in this one. So to me, that's well worth the time right there. Just to see what inventions come about and what trouble is amassed by all this. And you do have another villain. I think it's Steve Coogan that will be playing or doing the voice of the other villain. So I'm ready for this. Thank you.
Alrighty. How about July? We ready to move on to July?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, right off the bat, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Where's he coming home from?
From the Civil War.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Hey!
This is the one with the young hot Aunt May.
Yes. Yes, I'm sure you have seen that Aunt May has had the Benjamin Button treatment.
Mm-hmm.
Every time they restart this franchise, Aunt May gets younger and younger all the time.
I think at some point we're going to get Chloe Grace Moretz playing Aunt May
there you go.
Somewhere along the line. But anyway,
I'm interested just because Michael Keaton is playing the Vulture. It'd be interesting because honestly, I never thought he would do a comic book movie again. But from what I've seen, it looks really interesting. It sounds like they're handling the character pretty well. And actually, I'm talking about Spider-Man in this case. Although from what we've seen of the Vulture, he seemed pretty cool. He actually seems more of a threat than the versions that we have seen in the comics. Well, I hadn't seen him much in the last few years, so they may have done something to him instead of him being just this old man that's wearing a flying suit. But I'm interested. I'll definitely check it out. And of course, you got Robert Downey Jr. in there doing and just having little bit parts here, there, and everywhere. So I'm sure that'll be good for a laugh or two.
Oh, probably.
I am wondering about, I believe her name is Angourie Rice, playing Betty Brant. If you have seen the movie The Good Guys with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling, she plays Gosling's daughter in this. I recommend that movie to start, and she has got a great part in it. But I'm wondering about her playing that role.
And where's this coming from? What makes you say that?
As young as she is, she can't be 18. Yet she's going to play, to me, she's going to be playing a part that is a girl, a woman out of college that is working for the newspaper. And it just seems a little odd. She was also, in the comics, she was also a love interest for Parker. It was the first love interest.
You say that, but we don't know that. We know what the character was like in the comics. And we know that they're pretty good about changing things up. So, who's to say that she may be... I could see her being working for the reporter, working for the newspaper, but probably not the way it was in the comics. Maybe more like an intern or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, if you're going to make Marissa Tomei Aunt May, yeah. I guess you could twist things every which way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Academy Award-winning Marissa Tomei.
Absolutely.
And I did not hear about this, but apparently Tyne Daly has a role in the film.
No kidding.
I'm seeing her listed on IMDB. They don't list a role.
Hadn't seen her in a while.
She's done very little. I mean, she's done bits, pieces here, there, and everywhere, but nothing major. So we're getting a Lacey appearance. Woohoo!
Okay, so we have at least 2 villains in this one, with the Vulture and Shocker.
Mm-hmm.
Are we pressing for more than that or not?
Well, we don't know how we don't.
I hope they learned their lesson from Spider-Man 3. I mean, come on.
Well, congratulations. Tinkerer is going to be in this one also. And the Tinkerer appeared in the same comic as the Vulture the first time.
From what I've understood, and of course this doesn't mean anything, that Tinkerer is going to be more of the behind the scenes type thing. But we'll just have to see. And I don't know how much Shocker is actually in the film. He could be something that's dealt with as a quick threat.
Maybe a lead into the next movie or something.
Yeah, something like that, or just a villain. They get in there real quick, and he deals with them, and it gets him in jail. And yeah, he might escape in the second one, or they may not do anything with him ever again. Who knows? I think all of them have learned the lessons about trying to do creating too many villains at once. Now, if there's ones that are established and you put them together, it's something different because you already got the backstory. But but we'll see. I mean, we just don't know yet.
Yep.
Alrighty.
If you may, also that week is A Ghost Story with Casey Affleck. And it looks like he's going to played the recently deceased in this one, and he shows up in his home to try to reconnect with his wife. And this, I do not believe, is a comedy. This is a drama, and it's kind of like Ghost, little romance.
I was trying to frame a joke about that. I really was.
Well,
but you just stole it.
There's the joke right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say who's playing the Whoopi Goldberg character, but you know.
Dope. Alrighty.
But yeah. So are we mentioning Planet of the Apes?
Yep, that's what I was getting to.
Looks like it's going to be war this time.
Mm-hmm. I've enjoyed this handling of apes. I don't know about you guys.
Well, it beats the Marky Mark version, that's for sure.
No shit. But I
mean, I saw the one. I haven't. Is this the second or the third?
This is the third one.
Okay, I haven't seen the second one. The first one was all right. It was pretty good. I didn't see the second one.
I'm trying to remember the order. It was either Rise or Dawn, and then the other one was the other one. So we've had, Rise and then Dawn. And now we got War.
Yep.
With Woody Harrelson as the bad guy, so hey.
Oh, he can.
I'm sorry, Mr. Clavin. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you say that. He's done some stuff.
I know. I'm just being a smartass.
He'll be all right.
I know he's done some stuff.
Yep. So,
I enjoyed the first one. After that, I lost interest.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never really had a whole lot of patience for Planet of the Apes. I mean, I respect it for what it is, but it's kind of not my thing.
All right. Anything else that week catches your attention?
No, but the next week we've got Valerian.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have two really good movies that week, and Valerian starts it off for us.
Yep, it'll be a spectacle if nothing else, and it's entirely possible that it'll be nothing else, but it'll be pretty. It's total eye candy. We'll see what it is beyond that.
And this is one that is based on a comic book. Mm-hmm. So
it sure is. What's the other one?
The other one I have listed is Dunkirk.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention.
I'm ready for this one too because I've read a lot of stories about Dunkirk and what transpired and how it was essentially the start of the Second World War.
Oh wow, Nolan's involved. I did not
know that.
Yep,
Chris Nolan. And you got Kenneth Branagh and Tom Hardy. Just name two right off the top of the list of actors. I mean,
neat.
Yeah, this one's going to be interesting.
I'm ready for a good war movie. Other than Planet of the Apes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. The following week, July 28th. How about the Emoji Movie? I mean, come on. Patrick Stewart's playing crap. So, I mean, what can you say about that?
Can I phrase it another way?
Wow.
Well, they actually got it listed as poop, but I went there.
Yeah, what a shitty role.
Yep.
Can I just say, oh, come on.
What? You're not down for the Emoji Movie?
I don't use emojis. I don't understand emojis. I'm old. So, no. I have no desire. I don't want to read my movie.
Oh, come on. Everything's awesome, man. What do you expect?
That's different.
Do you know who did the music for that movie? Off the top of your head?
No.
Mark Mothersbaugh.
Mark Mothersbaugh, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For the Lego movie, talking about the Lego movie, you're talking about Everything is Awesome. He was the guy. He was Devo.
Yeah. Oh, I know the name. Yeah.
Just a little bit of trivia.
Didn't he do the music for the Lego Batman too?
I don't know. Maybe.
Possible.
Wouldn't be surprised.
And the other one that week is Atomic Blonde. Charlize Theron, James McAvoy, John Goodman, Toby Jones.
I know I've heard some buzz about this.
I'm probably going to get some crap for this, but I've seen the stuff on TV, and I'm like, this looks like a lot of the other ones. And granted, there are several movies that look kind of that way, but I'm thinking kind of the Underworld and Lucy, some of the others.
The one I keep hearing it compared to is John Wick.
Okay.
And so, I mean, I like John Wick. I haven't seen the second one yet, but if it's just that kind of action movie, it's probably worth seeing.
Yeah.
If you're into that kind of action movie. I don't know. I don't know that having Charlize Theron in it is going to make it any better or worse than Keanu Reeves, but I don't know. It depends.
Yeah.
It sounds like there's actually a little more story in this, so we'll see how that goes. The downside for me is that it's set in the 80s, so,
Yeah, we listeners of this podcast knows your love for the 80s, so yeah.
Exactly.
I know that.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, please.
No. You know this. Tell us what you know.
Well, she was in Reindeer Games, which was a crime action. And what was the other one? Oh, with Will Ferrell as the superhero that was on the outs.
Will Ferrell?
I mean, Will
Smith.
Will Smith.
Big difference, dude. Big difference. Hancock, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, she can do action movies.
It's not that. It just from what I saw of it, I'm just like, okay. It doesn't get me excited, but hey, that if it does, if there's people that are excited about the movie, then awesome. I'm happy for you. Go see it. Hope you have a good time. I don't know.
If it ain't your thing, it ain't your thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard the comparisons to John Wick, and I'm like, I hadn't seen John Wick. I just didn't really see any. I wasn't interested in seeing that either. So, that you're not helping convince me that I need to go see it, but that's fine.
All right,
like
I wasn't really trying to sell you on it.
No. I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you in particular. I'm just saying. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, let's move to August. And right off the bat, The Dark Tower.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting. I am curious to see how much of that story they put in this movie. Because it's not a short story.
It is not.
It is a 7 fairly long book series.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how much. I hadn't heard much, if anything, about this movie outside of when they did the casting, of Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey. I hadn't heard much of anything since then.
I cannot imagine a better casting for the Man in Black than Matthew McConaughey, honestly.
How truncated is this movie going to be?
Well, that's the thing. I hadn't heard anything about how involved Stephen King is in this. It's well known how much he does not like the movie adaptations of his books. He's been very vocal about that. So I'm just curious if if they even approached him and said, hey, we would love to have your input on, and they probably didn't, but hell, that's what I would have done. But once again, they didn't ask me.
Seems silly not to, but yeah. I mean, it depends on, there's a lot of factors there.
Yeah.
It's hard to know for sure how that's going to go. But yeah,
I mean,
it'll be interesting.
I think
It's an interesting story.
I think the worst thing to happen if you're having a big budget movie that's based off the book is the author of said book saying it's crap. Now he's not said that, but he's not been
No,
very.
he hasn't said
He's
anything.
not been. Well, no, in this case he hadn't said anything, but he's not been very positive about the adaptations of his books to movies, and rightfully so in a lot of the cases.
Mm-hmm.
Very rightly.
Alrighty, any other films catch your attention that week?
No,
What about
really.
Detroit? Detroit might be kind of interesting. It's based on the riots that happened back in early summer of 1967. It's directed by Catherine Bigelow and stars John Boyega of Star Wars: The Force Awakens and the Pacific Rim sequel that's coming at some point.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Last I heard it wasn't, but that's been a while, so it could be again.
Because he's filmed. He's already filmed his scenes for that. As far as if I heard correctly.
Okay.
So. Alrighty. The following week we have what do we have? Annabelle Creation.
We have
Never saw the first one.
Another Annabelle movie, which surprises me. I was not aware the first one did that well, but whatever. Hadn't seen it either.
Yeah, I hadn't seen the first one. So.
The photograph they have on the site I'm looking at has Annabelle sitting at the edge of the bed, a young girl at a desk across from the bed. And it just looks creepy because Annabelle looks like she is a human height. This is not say, Chucky doll. This is a 4-foot doll or thereabouts. And I would not say that there's not a person in costume, but to have a doll that big just is creepy as can be.
Uh-huh. I think they're playing on that to an extent.
Yeah, I think so too. Alrighty, the following week. Don't know if y'all heard anything about this one, but The Hitman's Bodyguard.
I did hear a little bit about it.
Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You gotta love that promotional poster for it.
Yes, the poster's hilarious.
Well, just the premise that a hitman needs a bodyguard is kind of, action comedy about the world's top protection agent and his new client, a notorious hitman who came in from the cold. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yep.
So it's a forced buddy film. Yay!
Mm-hmm. It's got some names.
Now, what would make this? I would find interesting in this? It is a comedy.
Yes.
That this is very rarely has this happened, but have Ryan Reynolds as the straight man. So you have Samuel L. Jackson just being making all the jokes and that kind of stuff. Very rarely happens. It happened in R.I.P.D., which I'm one of the few people who liked the film.
Oh God. Really?
It wasn't great. I knew it wasn't great. I'm not saying it wasn't great.
I can think of a lot of words to describe that movie. Great is not one of them.
Right.
I liked it. Sorry, but I thought it was pretty funny. And I thought it had a good premise.
But the fact that, for the most part, Reynolds was playing the straight man when he's usually known for being the wise ass. So he was having to put up with Jeff Bridges' stuff.
Mm-hmm. It would be interesting to see Ryan Reynolds and Sam Jackson attempt to out-wise ass each other.
Yeah, well, if it's both of them just making jokes to each other, then I'm probably out on that. I'm probably out on it anyway, but Nut Job 2, Nutty by Nature? Didn't know there was a first one.
Yeah, it was a nut job.
Okay. It's a animated starring Will Arnett. Okay.
There you go.
Batman.
Say what?
Batman.
Oh, yes, Batman.
Yeah, Ben Affleck, yeah. But
Lego,
he's not in this one.
Lego Batman.
Oh, okay. Hey, Jeff Dunham's in it. You think we'll see his lips move?
In an animated movie?
Yeah.
That would be funny.
Mm-hmm. All right. The following week. One I've not heard. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I don't know.
The life and death of John Gotti? Not heard of this one.
Travolta.
Yep. And Kelly Preston, too. I wonder how they did that.
Hard to tell.
Hey, who knows? We'll see. That's going to be one of those you need to check out the trailer and see if it's interesting. Polaroid?
Yeah. Not sure about that.
Story of a high school owner who stumbled upon a vintage Polaroid camera tainted with a dark secret. She soon discovers the camera's special power. Those who have their picture taken are destined to have a tragic fate.
So are we talking horror movie or what?
I mean, yeah, it's a horror film.
Oh, God. Okay. No. Don't think so.
You know, it sounds like it's going to be something similar to like The Final Destination and those type of films.
Right. I gotta say, for that week, I am more interested in the possibility of a live-action Death Note movie. But that's on Netflix, so whatever.
Yeah.
Which is good, because that means I'll actually see it.
Well, there is actually going to be a limited release of Terminator 2 in 3D. Not sure how exactly that's going to work. Considering there was...
I'm sure they've been jacking around with it for a while to figure it out.
Yeah. Alrighty. That basically ends August. So what are your thoughts of the summer films?
Could be a good year, really. I mean, I was thinking last year was a little disappointing, wasn't it? There's at least some potential this year.
Yeah, there's some interesting ones. What do you think, Les?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm kind of hoping that those that I panned on do well. Obviously, I would say they'll probably do it without me and my assistance. But I would say that overall, it's a pretty good run of films.
Well, once again, August seems kind of weak, but they seem to do that on purpose.
Over the last several years, they've shifted them up to the 1st of May, so you can't keep them all going. And besides, they gotta lighten up a little so people are looking forward to the fall movies, because there are some interesting fall movies. But that's another show.
That's another show. All right. Any final thoughts? Or was that pretty much our final thoughts?
I think we're good.
Get ready to eat popcorn, folks.
Woohoo!
Mm-hmm.
All righty. So when we come back, we'll have our weekly picks. And we're back, and it's time for our weekly picks. And leading off this week is Mikey.
It's me. It's me. All right.
Yay!
Woohoo! My first book is a trade. I'm going with a Dynamite book first. It is James Bond, the trade. Actually, it's a hardcover trade for the Hammerhead series, which was Andy Diggle and Luca Casalanguida. So this is one of the Bond stories that Dynamite has been putting out, and they've been doing, and I say this as a Bond fan, they've been doing a really nice job. These things I have yet to see one of these recent ones. I mean, even beyond the Warren Ellis ones, they're all very cool stories. And in this one, Bond is having to take down a weapons outfit in his usual inimitable way. Lots of explosions and fire and shooting things and pounding on people. Typical James Bond stuff, so pretty cool.
Yep. It's been fun.
It was a good series. So the collection should be pretty fine.
Yep. I agree. Actually, Les, you are next.
For my first one, I'm going to Zenoscope Entertainment and look at Courier number 2 of 5 in this series. Ralph Tedesco, Robert Atkins are bringing this science fiction story to you. The first issue was pretty interesting. And in this one, the main character, Eve Harper, is fighting against mutated and bloodthirsty creatures called the Primals. As this is going on, the Apostles, which are a ruthless group, are unwelcome at a compound they force their way into. Well, if you force your way into, I doubt that they're going to greet you with open arms.
Probably not.
It's a point.
Yeah. But they threaten the residents with bodily harm because the leader, Calvin, has not been treated for his wounds. The residents are threatened with bodily harm, and of course this is going to continue into number 3. So get to it right now while you can.
See, they didn't learn. You're not supposed to threaten with bodily harm. You're supposed to threaten by taunting them a second time.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, we hadn't had a Monty Python reference today, so we needed one. So there we go. The streak is alive.
That you already have a holy grail.
There you go. The streak is alive.
Oh yes, it's very nice.
I don't know. We already have one. Alrighty.
One thin mint.
But sir, it is only a wafer thin. All right.
Okay, my turn. My first choice is from Action Lab, their Danger Zone imprint, and it's called Medicine. This is the first issue, and it's written by Jeff Dyer and Mark McCone, with art by David Brame. And the premise is a team of doctors are being blackmailed by a criminal mastermind to actually fix up and heal supervillains. So it's basically a healthcare system for supervillains. And I've been interested in this book ever since it was first announced because I just like the premise. It's one of those. It's original. It's something, and I know there's been a couple of books that kind of dealt with the opposite side of healthcare organizations who help take care of superheroes that need healing and all that, or ill. So now we're getting the other in. So I'm definitely interested in checking this book out.
Yep. Sounds like fun.
Yep. Well, it's always interesting when something kind of different pops up. Different is good.
Yeah.
It's that outside the box that we've talked about.
Yep.
So, alrighty, Mikey, you are up again.
Okay. I've got a bit of a weird pick for my second pick. I'm going to pick, actually, kind of a lot of things all at once. These are Image books. Big shock there. But one of the cool things Image does, kind of in an attempt to draw people in and get them interested, is they have their series they call Image Firsts. And essentially what they do is they take at least reasonably successful first issues from series that ran in the not too distant past, and they repackage them, and they sell them for $1 in order to draw people in. And so this week, there are, I believe I counted 9 Image Firsts coming out, and every single one of them was, I'll tell you right now from experience, they were interesting first issues. There's a lot of really good stuff there. There's some stuff I didn't necessarily get into, but Black Magic is one of them. Kill or Be Killed, Seven to Eternity, The Fix, Think Tank. These are all very cool books to begin with, and if you've read any of these, this is just one possible way to do this. If you've read any of these books and you know somebody, you have a friend you think would find them interesting, it's $1, man. Pick it up, hand it to your friend and say happy birthday or whatever, and get them hooked. That's the whole idea here, is to get people hooked. They're $1 a piece.
Yeah, I'm thinking they may have been one of the first ones to do this, but others have picked it up. I know IDW does theirs under the title Penny Press or 100 Penny Press or something like that. Marvel does something similar too. I forgot what theirs is called. It's called True Believers. Hold on, I take that back. True Believers, but yeah, essentially what they do is first issues is of certain books are just reprinted and just for $1, just say, here you go, check this out, and then if you like this, well, we've got trades here to, just go back to your local comic store and you can pick it up, or if they don't have it, they'll order it for you or whatever. So I mean, it's a great little great little thing.
And the other cool part about that is you talked about the trades. One of the things Image does, all of their first arc trades, $10.
Yep.
They're $9.99 no matter how many issues are in them, no matter what. They are $9.99.
And Boom does that as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great idea. I think it's a nice price point that makes it a little bit more enticing. Thank you. For someone to pick it up, and then hey, if they enjoy it, well, hey, you can go back and hey, there's volume 2. Oh, there's volume 3. Oh, 4 just came out. Awesome. I can get caught up. So, yeah. Great idea. Les, you are next.
First, I have a couple of comments.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Mike, 9 times?
9 times what?
Well, 9 titles.
Yeah, I just wanted to find a way to actually plug 10 books this week. That's all.
Oh, yeah. The other one is, Mike, I'm always happy to have somebody hand me a comic book and say, here, happy birthday or whatever.
Yeah, here, the first one's free.
Now, moving on, I am going to speak on Lilith Dark #1. It is a 4-issue series by Charles C. Dowd. The publisher is Alterna Comics. I'm kind of excited for this for several reasons. The premise of this one is Lilith Dark is a young girl, and she's the antithesis of most young girls of, I'm going to say 5 or 6 years old. She doesn't have time for the princess stuff because she's always fighting giant monsters or capturing unicorns. But that's what she thinks that she's doing. She imagines these things. So what happens if the imaginary beasts and monsters or whatever are actually real? What happens then? This is, like I said, by Alterna. This is going to be one of their $1.50 comics, and it is printed on newsprint. So this is taking you back to the 50s and early 60s for their printing process.
Yeah,
so, I'm ready.
Yeah, their promotional poster says it's time. Tonight we're gonna party like it's 1989.
Which is probably
Sounds
the
good to
last
me.
time they charged $1.50 for a comic book.
Yeah. So it's yeah. The thing that surprises me is all the books that Alterna is coming out in May that are newsprint are coming out that week. So it's not just Lilith Dark, but it's also Croak. It's also Adam Wrecked, and I'm blanking on
Amazing Age.
Amazing Age. Thank you. I was surprised that they're all coming out the same week, but yeah, I'm ready to get my hands on them too.
Totally.
Alrighty, so it's my turn, and I am going back to the Image Comics for my choice, and Parts of Their Past is coming back again for their 25th anniversary as we see the return of Youngblood. It's the start of a new series. It's written by Chad Bowers and art by Jim Tao, I'm sorry. For those who are not aware of Youngblood, Youngblood was a book created by Rob Liefeld back. It was the first year, 1992, when it came out, or 93. I know 92 is when Image started, but I'm thinking it was 92 or 93. But it is it's a super team that worked for the American government. And it sounds like this is going to be along the same lines, although it's going to be a new team. But it sounds like they're going to quickly bring in some members from the past, which would be cool to see. So I was kind of a fan of the book when it first came out. I kind of liked the characters, and the stories were pretty good. So it'd be interesting to see how this what happens here with under a new creative team and new characters, and see where we go from here. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I wish this one luck. I hope that this expands well.
Yeah, it would be nice to see some of the other ones that came out that year kind of brought back and see what happens. I mean, there was the Mighty Man one shot that came out just a few weeks back. I know Mikey did a review for it, and it was a fun book. I enjoyed the heck out of that, and I would definitely love to see a ongoing based off of that.
Oh, sure.
I think it would work. So we'll see.
Yep, I suspect that Image is not done playing with some of those old titles.
It's kind of funny. I think back to I'm so blanking on the president of the company, of Image. It's Eric
Stevenson? Yes,
thank you. Of his comments a couple of years ago about how they didn't rely on superheroes for their company, and it's true because they got away from that pretty darn quick. But we could be seeing a return of the superheroes to the line. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. So they could say, hey, we offer you everything.
Yep.
Yeah, here's your superheroes. Here's your fantasy. Here's your horror. Here's your crime or mystery or noir. We got a little bit of everything. Come check out what we got. I think that's a wise thing to do.
Yep.
All right, and I believe we all have honorable mentions.
I believe so.
So, Mikey, what's yours?
My honorable mention is actually a book I think I mentioned a few weeks back, because this is just something I have not seen very often. It's a Valiant book, and it is Bloodshot Reborn, issue 0. What makes it notable this week is that the second printing is coming out this week. And not very often have I seen second printings of issue 0s. So, bully for them, for sure. It actually was a pretty cool read, as I recall. So, if you didn't get it the first time around, here's your chance.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, they're having a lot of second printings. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, Les. What is your honorable mention?
My honorable mention are the first 2 volumes of 5 coming out from Maneki Neko Books. The titles are Gladstone School for World Conquerors. This was a series that was late 90s and into the 2000s, I believe. And it is what you think it is. It's a school for the children of villains and teaching them how to step up and become the new band of villains. You've got characters like Kid Nefarious, Mummy Girl, Martian Jones, Ghost Girls, and the infamous Skull Brothers. And in these first 2 volumes, they set about to see what happens, just see what problems they can cause. And if I recall, it was a pretty humorous series. These are hardcovers, and I recommend it because what I remember from the comics, it was pretty frickin' funny.
Sounds like it. I kind of vaguely remember reading something. I don't know if there was something from a previous free comic book day, if there may have been an offering for that or something, because it's ringing a bell. But yeah,
I believe you're right there. I believe there was a free comic book day of it too.
So I'll have to check that one out.
It does sound like fun.
Yep. Alrighty, for my honorable mention, I'm going the Marvel way, and it's a collection called Amazing Spider-Man Epic Collection, Goblin's Last Stand. This is written by Stan Lee and Jerry Conway, with art by Gil Kane and John Romita Sr. And this collects issues 105 through 123. And I kind of picked on this because this collects 2 of the biggest shockers in Spider-Man history. It chronicles the death of Gwen Stacy. Yes, it's a spoiler from something from 40-something years ago. And then the first death of the Norman Osborn Green Goblin, first of many, probably. I know there's been a few. But this was a big deal. This was a big deal when they killed off Gwen Stacy. From what I have read since all that happened is that if Stan Lee had known that was going to happen, he would have nixed it, and actually Gary Conway, they try to convince him to to reverse that, and say, well, she's not dead, that she was unconscious or something like that. It was a big deal. I mean, it's such a big deal that they still trying to keep bringing her back in one way or another, and obviously they have with a Spider-Gwen running around now. But we also had the thing with the recent clone conspiracy event that was going through the Spider books, all the Spider books. So this is some really good classic Spider-Man, and you've got the art of Gil Kane and John Romita, two huge names. Someone has asked me in the past who I would consider the definitive Batman artist, and I kind of have a hard time figuring, but I feel the same way about Spider-Man. I would probably say Romita, although Gil Kane's up there as well. So these are some beautiful pages, some great action-packed and drama stories, well worth picking up and checking out.
Cool. You sell it well.
Wasn't it Romita that was on the book when John Jameson was introduced, and even the
Romita took over from Ditko.
Ditko, yeah.
Yeah, so Ditko was original artist, and then Romita took over. So he was there through a chunk of it. Yeah. He was spelled by some other artists like Gil Kane.
Right.
But for the most part, it was Romita's run. So he's the stuff from the late '60s and early '70s. You seeing those images, more than likely it's Romita art. So great choices all around. Some good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Think so.
Alrighty, any special shout-outs this week?
Actually, I'm going to throw out a small one.
Okay.
I want to do a shout-out to Les for showing up, which sounds crazy, but he's not feeling well, so,
Yeah.
He could easily have called in sick on our asses, and we'd have been doing this by ourselves. So thanks, Les.
Thanks, Les.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you for playing hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Just rub some dirt on it and get back in there.
Well, we'll let you do that.
Right.
Alrighty. So, let's just go ahead and do our usual shout-outs. First off, see, I'm starting to get tired.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it's been a rough week for me. Manny the Martyr for our wonderful music for our podcast. Great group of guys, awesome musicians. Go check them out. Go check out their page. We'll have a link in our show notes, or you can go to our website, www.thefellowshipofthegeeks.net, and click on our podcast page. There will be their logo. Just you can click on that, and that'll take you to their page, and just check it out. Thank you, guys. You're awesome, and we appreciate it. Second of all, the wonderful men and women of Potter and Family on Twitter. Any kind of podcast you can think of, you can find it. All you got to do is just do a search, #Potter and Family. This is a group of people, of fellow podcasters, who retweet others' links for their shows. They've been supporting us since day one, and we appreciate it. And Mikey and I, of course, have been doing our darndest to return that love. So we appreciate it, guys. We really do. And, of course, most important, you, the listener, thank you. Thank you for downloading this episode. Thank you for listening to this episode and our previous episodes. It's much appreciated. As always, we would love to have your feedback. If you have questions, comments, suggestions, anything, feel free to contact us. You can go to our website, www.thefellowshipofthegeeks.net, and go to our About Us page, and there's a form there that you can fill out. Or you can just send us a line, email at thefellowshipofthegeeks.net, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Or you can contact us through social media. We are on Facebook. The Fellowship of the Geeks has one word. Feel free to like us and then send us a message if you want to contact us. Obviously, we are on Twitter at Fellowship Geeks. Feel free to follow us there and shout out to us. Mikey has his own personal Twitter account at Mikey Geek. And I have one as well at TomTCGeek. Feel free to follow us and just say hi if you like. And we'll respond in kind. And wherever you download this episode or other episodes, whether it's through iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, or if you listen to us on YouTube, please rate us, whether it's the star system, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. Please rate us, and if you have a couple extra minutes, a review would be awesome. It would be much appreciated. Question of the week. I guess, what movie are you looking forward to this summer?
I think the simple one is, which summer movie are you dying to see?
Okay.
Because otherwise I'm going to ask something weird about, like, what's your favorite movie theater snack or something. We don't want that. I mean, feel free to tell us that if you want, but...
Well, or we could use the question that I posted, or something that I posted last night. One of our listeners, who's also a game designer, was asking, what do you use for your opening line? Obviously, like if you're hitting on someone. And so I decided to be a smart ass, and I used the GIF of Peter Graves from Airplane saying, "Have you ever been in a Turkish prison?" So,
nice.
You can always ask that question, too.
Boy, that's one I'd hang my hat on. You bet.
Well, I don't know why that popped in my head when I saw that. I'm like, damn it, I'm going to go there. Let's go. Let's do it.
Sometimes you just got to do it.
And well, you know what? The response has been rather positive, so I don't feel too bad about it.
There you go.
So, any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
Nope, just thanks, everybody.
Yeah, I'm good too. Thank you very much, folks.
Thank you, everybody, once again for listening. Your support means a lot to us. We appreciate it, and we love you guys. Until next time, read more comics and support your local stores. We thank you for listening to the show. Comments, suggestions, and questions can be sent to email@thefellowshipofthegeeks.net. You can follow us on Facebook at The Fellowship of the Geeks and on Twitter at Fellowship Geeks. Until next time,